Hello everyone, welcome back to Angular 8 video tutorial series by TechTechTuts. This is lecture number 25, and today in this video tutorial we are going to learn what are form arrays in reactive forms and how to use them inside Angular 8. So without a further ado, let's get into the tutorial. In the previous lecture we have already learned that how can we group the controls using a form group method from the reactive module. And today we will see how can we use the same technique by using form array. Furthermore, form arrays give us some advantages over form groups, that we can add or remove controls dynamically at runtime. So let me give you a practical example of using form arrays, and you can easily compare it with the form groups after watching this video tutorial. So in the VS Code, I will create a new group with help of form array. So I will create a new group name. I will name it qualification, and then I will create new form array rather than creating new form group. So the first difference is that in the form group we use the object notation, which is the curly brackets, and in form array we use square brackets, which is used for the arrays. So in this array, I can simply add as many controls as I want by just using form control. But actually this is not the purpose of using form arrays. The basic purpose of using form arrays is that you might sometime need some controls which can be added or which can be removed as per needed. For example, in this user form we have a qualification tab, and a user can have one qualification, or he might have multiple qualifications, or even he might don't have any kind of qualification. So for that reason we can use form array, and we can dynamically remove these controls from the form easily and can add them easily as well. So the first step is we need to get this form array as a property. So to create a property inside Angular we use get method. So I will simply say get. You can name it anything, but as for the naming conventions and to keep the thing synced, I'll name it qualification. So it is same as this qualification key. After that, simply what I need to do is simply return one thing, and that is this user form. From the user form get qualification and get it as form array. So why I'm getting it as a form array? So that we can properly apply different functionalities, and we can add the controls, we can loop through the controls using this property. Now this is done. We have a one control inside our form array. So let me show you how can we add it in the front end inside the form controller, in the form controller of our app component.html file. So to add it into component.html file, just open your component.html file, and you should add it outside of your other groups. So one is group name, this one address. So I will create another div here outside of this form group, and I will name it form array name, and then I will give it name qualification. That's it. We have given it the proper name. Then inside this I will create a p tag, or even I don't need to create a p tag, I can directly use a loop here. So I will say ng for. Why we need the loop? Because we are using form array and we don't know how many elements, or sorry, how many controls user gonna add, or how or maybe he is going to remove all of the controls. So for that we need this loop. So let ed of qualification or dot controls. So now here qualification means this property which we have created here in the TS file. So I'm actually looping through this property. So that is what I mentioned here, qualification dot controls. Is it qualifications or qualification? Qualification. Okay, next I need the index element. So I will say let I is equal to index. So it will automatically assign its index to the I variable so that I can assign this I to the control. So let me create a p tag here, and then inside p tag I will create an input tag text. You can use any tag, any input tag, whether text area, checkbox, radio button. So I'm just making it as simple as possible. So same here, we will type form control name, but this time we need to do two things. Number one, we need to bind this form control name to the index of the array. So I will say here is equal to I. Then in the label, I can add a label here as well. So in the label, I will say enter, or simply I say qualification number 1, 2, or whatever it is, I plus 1 I will say. So index starts from 0, so 0 plus 1, it will say 1 for the first element, and then it will go further as we add or remove the elements. So this is how we successfully added our first form array element inside the form control. So let's see it in the browser. Let me reload the browser. So hopefully we will see another control over here with the, let it to be refreshed. I think it's not yet compiled. Let me see, and it's not compiled yet. Now it's done. So hopefully this time it will reload and will show us the form control here. So there you go. We have a qualification number 1. That's fine, great. We have done what we were looking for. So next step is add two buttons for adding and removing elements. So for that I will use a trick here. What I will do, I will add a button here inside this p tag, which will be replicated against each element. So button, and then I will pass a click event to it, and click will say remove QF. I will say remove QF, so it means remove the qualification, and then I will just pass it to the index which we want to remove, and inside this button I will simply put an X. So this means removing the current element from the array. Then before the submit or anywhere inside this div, I shouldn't be doing inside the div, I should be outside of the div. I will create another button, button, and inside button I will say add. So this means add qualification, and then I will put a click event to it. Click is equal to add QF. So that means add a qualification. That's it. Furthermore, I will just put an array here, separator, so that we can see add and submit on the same level. So let's see. There you go. We have a cross button here, and we don't see the add button. Why is it? So button add, it should be here. Why is it? Oh, sorry, it was not reloaded, so that's why it wasn't showing. So here we have the add button. So let's add the functionality for both buttons. First we will see the add button, so that we can add another control into the current form array. So for that I will create add QF function, and this function does not accept any parameter. So simply what it will do, it will push into this qualification dot push new form control. Simple is that. Simply we are pushing new control to this form array. So that's what we are doing by clicking on add button. So now if I click on the add button, let it to be reloaded first. Now it's reloaded. So let me click on the add button, and you see qualification number 2 has been added, then qualification number 3, qualification number 4 has been added. So this is how we can add multiple fields, dynamic fields in the form. Now let's see next, how can we remove these qualifications from the array so that we don't be bombarded with multiple qualifications if user only have one qualification or user does not have any qualification. So for that, just go to your component.ts file and create a new function, name remove QF, and this time this function will accept the index which we want to remove. So how to remove it? Very easy. This dot qualification dot remove at and then pass it index. Simple is that. So one line code. Now we are good to go. We can add controls, we can remove controls as we want. So just let it to be refreshed because it's still compiling. Now it's done, and now it's reloaded, and now we have only one form. So I can click add, and if I have a qualification A, B and C, so I can delete A, I can delete C, so I can only have B. This is just I put to show you that I can remove the corresponding qualification only, and at the same time it will automatically manage the index so that we have only one qualification, and even I can remove that one from the form as well. So this is how you can add or remove dynamic forms using dynamic controls using form array in reactive forms. So guys, this is it. This was the lecture for today's video tutorial where we learned form arrays by using reactive forms. So thank you very much for watching this video tutorial till the end. I hope you liked the tutorial, and if you are interested to learn more about Angular, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the YouTube channel TechTechTuts. With that being said, I'm your host on TechTechTuts signing off. Take care and goodbye.